Hello everyone, my name is Paulina. I am working for the Center for Research, Documentation and Publication, CRDP, here in Pristina. We're a transitional justice NGO, as I like to call us, and when you look at our website you find a motivational quote which says, I'll start as well with a quote, "The dead cannot cry out for justice, it is a duty of the living to do so for them." This was said by Lois McMaster Bujold. She's a fantasy author of fantasy novels. I think it's not important. It's very cheesy, I apologize for that. I myself am not a big fan of motivational quotes, but I guess this one summarizes what CRDP does and what CRDP's mission is. And we deal with victims of war, both civilian and ex-combatants. We do advocacy events, we do consultation meetings, we do monitoring of laws that affect those categories that came out of war, basically. We do a lot of research on missing persons, and right now my colleague is writing a paper on public memorials, whereas I'm involved in a project on human security that deals with other transition-related projects. But yeah, I will not spend more time talking about CRDP. I wanted to make actually a short introduction into what transitional justice and reconciliation is. I prepared a PowerPoint, but I guess it's not going to happen, which is a bit a pity because I made like a scale and put all transitional justice instruments, which I don't know if you're familiar with all of them, but in academia and also in politics, there is basically 6 ways of how to achieve this reconciliation. And this all happens within the broader framework of transitional justice, which is composed of transition on the one hand and justice on the other one. And so you have 6 instruments how to achieve reconciliation. And these are what Joanna already addressed: amnesia, amnesty, then there is truth commissions, there is apologies, there is reparations, and there is tribunals. And those instruments you can find in different places on this scale. So, for example, amnesia has nothing to do with justice, but is helpful towards achieving transition. So, because it makes the transition smooth when you don't have to deal with your past. Then you have amnesty, which is sort of minimal justice. And in the middle you have truth commission, which is which focuses both on transition and justice. And then you have apologies and reparations, which belongs more to the retributive side of justice, which means you know, paying something actually for the harm that you have caused. But what exactly is reconciliation that we want to achieve? And when you read academic articles, there is a lot of definitions. It's a very open concept, and reconciliation, for example, is considered to be a process. It's about talking, as in other alternatives to violence. Reconciliation means building relationships and learning to live together. It means acknowledgement of truth. It is about memory. It is intertwined with justice. It's about reparations. It's about survival of community, and it needs time. So there's basically a lot that can describe reconciliation. But as our topic is forgiveness and forgetting, I can say that reconciliation does not necessarily have to mean or involve forgiveness and forgetting. It's rather a form of coexistence or mutual understanding, collective action, living together, as I have pointed out. So, yeah, my questions for you would actually be, what is reconciliation and do we want this? Because when I came here, my boss Nora told me, Paulina, you know, you come from this, because I study peace and conflict studies in Frankfurt in Germany. I'm right now writing my master thesis. you come from this academic background, you're supposed to teach us or to tell us what transitional justice is, but we don't know. We, for example, in the Balkans, we don't have this tradition of reconciliation. We don't even have a word for it. You say something like pyetjeve, I guess?
Yes.
But it maybe doesn't have the same meaning as reconciliation that is around in Western academia, because it often is connected to religion. It has a religious connotation and the Western connotation as well. And you know, what does reconciliation in this Balkan-specific context mean, in the Kosovo context? And I hope that we will discuss this later on.